kind of got to feel sorry for poor Moses. Talk about having a bad day. Here, poor Moses has been working really hard, putting up with all of Pharaoh's junk, and lo and behold, what happens? Now he's got to take this crowd and bring them to freedom. And well, there's only a little problem, and that's this big hunk of water that's standing between them and freedom. So they get to the water, the Red Sea, and what happens? They start grumbling to Moses. You better do something. We didn't come all the way over here to get gobbled up into this water. Moses calls upon God, the sea opens, they go through. They find liberation. You would think that would have a significant impact on them. So they start their journey. They start heading through the desert. They make their first stop. And you would think at this point in time, they would thank God for all that God has done for them. And you would think wrong. First thing that happens, they start grumbling. We're thirsty. Why'd you bring us here? We could have had something to drink back where we were. By that point in time, I got to tell you, if I was Moses, I would have taken them all back and thrown them in the water and been done with it. So Moses calls to God, and God gives them something to drink. They continue on their journey, and as we hear today, they come to their second stop. And at their second stop, they start complaining again. Now, we're hungry. Why did you bring us here? Why did you do this to us? We were fine back where we were. We had something to eat. We had our lives. We had our employment. Why did you do this to us? Moses calls out to God. God gives them something to eat. You would think that they would have a confidence and a trust in God because of all that God has done for them. But you would be wrong. Not unlike the folks we see with Jesus. The folks that are constituting this crowd that's following Jesus has already seen him change water into wine at Cana, give water to the Samaritan woman and bring her to faith, heal the young son of a royal official, and as we heard last week, feed 5,000 people. You would think that would enable them to have trust and confidence in him. You would think they would come to believe in him. And you would be wrong. As we hear today in John 6th chapter, they too grumble. Give us some sign. Look what happened to our ancestors. Our ancestors got a sign. Look what Moses did for them. Why don't you do something for us? Do something so that we will believe, so that we will have trust, so that we will have confidence. Give us something. And Jesus' response is nothing more than, you got it. Here I am. I am what you asked for. Conform your heart to mine. You'll be sustained always. Make your life like mine. You'll never be hungry for anything. You'll never want for anything. That's all you have to do. Well, that didn't work too well either, did it? And I suspect that if we look carefully and honestly at our lives of faith, we might be able to see something of ourselves in both of those groups. They both followed God as best they could. No. They both said that they believed in the power of God, didn't they? We do that or else we wouldn't be here, right? But for them, it would seem that believing was not a matter of the heart, it was a matter of the head. They knew all sorts of things that God had done, and all they wanted was for God to keep doing it so they could be reinforced in their knowledge and understanding of what God was and what God was about. Jesus wants something different. He wants hearts. When our heart is truly like His, so united are we to Him that we have a trust and a confidence that we have in no other. We've seen folks like that, folks who are inspiring to us, folks who are examples to us, folks who have spent a life making their heart like the heart of Jesus. The very reason we come here today to welcome Him into our lives sacramentally is so that more and more that can happen to us. Problem is, it's 3 steps forward and 8 steps back. We find ourselves so often in our lives of faith begrudgingly saying, okay, I trust in you and I have confidence in you, but I'll really trust in you and have confidence in you if you give me what I want. I believe in you, but I'll really believe in you if you do this for me. But to have trust and confidence in someone is to know somewhere deep within our heart that that one in whom we have trust and confidence will always be by our side, and will always, always, always be our strength. That doesn't mean that everything is going to work the way we want it to. That doesn't mean that everything that we ask for will suddenly appear to us. That's not faith. That borderlines on magic. That's not who we are. We're people of faith who believe with all of our heart in a God who creates us, who loves us, and who walks with us. That doesn't mean nasty things aren't going to come our way. That doesn't mean we're going to face questions that we can always answer. That doesn't mean that life will always make sense to us. It does mean that with all of our heart, we know God is near. God is with us. God is our strength. God is our hope. Those folks with Moses claimed that they believed that God was with them, that God was leading them. Boy, sure couldn't tell it from their words and actions, could you? The folks with Jesus they too believed that God was with them. God was near to them. My. That's an interesting way to treat Jesus if that's true, isn't it? Could you tell from their words and actions? And we say the very same thing. We're believers. We believe with all of our heart in the power of God, in the goodness of God, in the wisdom of God, in the presence of God in our lives. But can someone tell that from your words and your actions?